good times will roll by. So don't just slip by. These days they will come and go. That's how you build a good life. One step, two steps, three, and it's over. Five and to six again. Seven steps, eight steps, nine, and I'm older. Trying to figure out where I fit in. So hold yourself tight. So hold yourself tight. Everything will work out fine. So hold yourself tight. So hold yourself tight. Everything will work out fine.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Nik Nak Studios. I'm just going to check and make sure my chat's working. Oops. Hell yeah, hell yeah. Wubba lubba dub dub. Back for some more Rick and Morty, episode 4. Yeah, I was hoping to have this stream up, let's see, last Saturday. I was hoping to be caught up last Sunday. And for some reason, I had some internet problems. We've been getting a lot of storms out here, so I don't know if that's what caused it, but yeah. My fiber optic cable that leads to my house somehow got fried. So I've been without internet. Which kind of sucks, starting up a new channel and not having internet. But I've done what I can, I've done what I can to keep this going. And we're going to get caught up. So I'm hoping to get this episode done tonight. Obviously, we're live streaming now. Episode 5, I'll probably do Saturday. That way tomorrow I can grab my screenshots and prep everything. But yeah, we will get caught up because my plan has been to live stream on Tuesdays. So hopefully, hopefully nothing else happens. We'll knock on wood there, And yeah, I can return to my normal schedule. So, all right. Word of encouragement for today. You're always going to be bad at something when you first start. It's kind of like a swimming pool, which tracks with the season since they've showed the swimming pool quite a bit. Yeah, if you try to dip your toes in to something, it's just going to take that much longer for your body to adjust to the temperature of the water, right? So instead of dipping your toes in, just jump right in. Jump right in, man. Get in there and figure it out. And that's kind of what I'm doing here with these live streams. These Rick and Morty live streams have kind of been just practice for me. But I know eventually I'll get better at them. Funny story. I actually did this whole live stream last night. And I feel like I did a really good job with it. And my buddy I got a call-in number just to have one, just to see if it works. And my buddy called in. And I tried to edit a portion of the video out afterwards. Just some sensitive information that was shown on screen. And yeah, I learned very quickly that YouTube's editing program sucks. Sucks. So I had selected my clip that I wanted cut out of the video. And it even asked me, are you sure you want this portion cut out of the video? So I clicked yes. And it saved only that portion, and the rest of the video was gone. 2-hour live stream down the drain, right? So So yeah, I'll learn from my mistakes on that. No biggie. We'll do it again. We'll go through it one more time. And hopefully this time we will keep it. So, you know, and that's the part that sucks, right? It's never going to be as good as the first time. I mean, maybe it'll be better. I don't know. But I just feel like the first time you do something, when it comes to like live streaming or something like that, you know, there's always magic in the first time. And then, you know, if you do it a second time, it just kind of feels like you're trying to recreate that. But anyway, we're going to roll with the punches. This is kind of what this stage of YouTube is all about. Figuring out what works. You know, understanding the safest way to do things. That way it always works. And yeah, we'll get it going. So I really like this episode. I didn't at first. When I first started watching it, I was like, okay, this is kind of giving season 8 energy, right? Until I got towards the end of the episode and kind of realized what they were getting at, what they were going for. And I was like, all right, yeah, this episode's pretty good. I liked this episode. I did. I liked this episode. So yeah, let's jump right into it. Let's get into this recap here. So we start the episode with Rick opening a portal and exiting that portal drunk as all hell, right? So yeah, he I mean, he's so drunk he pisses on himself. And I love how he's got this beer here and still decides to pull out his flask. Like, what are you doing there, bro? But hang on, guys. I gotta take care of something. All right, sorry about that. Forgot to tell my girlfriend that I was live streaming here, so she came and talked to me for a second. But anyway, yeah, so, you know, he's so drunk, he pisses on himself. He's got his beer in his hand. Despite that, he still grabs his flask. So yeah, this is it's pretty bad, man. He's over here like, it's not a good sign, Rick. It's not a good sign. You need some of those Trader Joe's hash browns from the previous episode, right? Yeah, you can see his flask and his thing over here. And I am noticing that we can see the time travel stuff on the box here, which I do want to point out. I think there's something funny going on with this time travel box back here, right? Because there are certain times throughout this season where you don't see this written on the box. So I thought, okay, well, we're kind of zoomed out a little bit. Maybe that's what it is. Yeah, so maybe it's zoomed out. But I mean, as you can see in this scene right here, we're pretty well zoomed out. And you can still see time travel stuff on the box. And you'll see later on, and I'll point it out to you, that there is a shot where you're close up on the box and you don't see it written there. So it seems like some funny business going on. And we'll talk more about that later on. But yeah, so Rick, you know, stumbles his way through the garage, ends up here at the desk, and I love this so much. He sat down and did not even realize that he had a beer sitting here on the desk. I love how he just like randomly notices it and then just, you know, starts chugging it. That was hilarious. That was absolutely hilarious. But yeah, so he tries to log into his computer system, but he's so drunk he can't remember his password. He's like, this fucking thing, you know. And yeah, so failed attempt 2 of 4. He keeps trying, and it still just locks him out, completely locks him out. And I like how instead of just locking him out of his computer, I mean, it actually just shuts down the whole lab, which is pretty cool. Yeah, and as you can see, I like how he's got these like custom fluorescent bulbs up here that are just glowing red. Like, I mean, did he have to make those himself? So if they work normally and like they're white bulbs, you know what I mean? How do you get a fluorescent bulb to glow red? Anyway, he had to have like custom made those or something. I don't know. So yeah, he kind of collapses back down into his chair here, and he's like, Morty! So Morty pops in. Morty like waves his hand in front of his face because of the alcohol fumes, right? Smells like alcohol really bad in here. So yeah, he walks in. Rick's drunk as hell, like, good morning, Morty. It's like, yeah, sure thing. And it gives me the vibe that maybe it's not actually morning, because Morty's like, what do you want me to do? You want me to cook you some breakfast or maybe some dinner, possibly hinting that it's not morning time at all. Yeah, so Rick, he's like, I only had a couple of drinks, Morty. Like, this thing fucking locked me out. He's like, it's all your fault, Morty. It's all your fault. Yeah, well, Morty, that's what he said. Morty asked, well, whose fault is that? And Rick says, it's yours, Morty. It's yours. How is it Morty's fault? How is it Morty's fault? But anyway, yeah, so Rick gets mad. He goes over, he starts pounding on the keyboard, gets electrocuted. Collapses down onto the ground. Again, another drunken posture here where he's like, you don't even give a shit about Grandpa, do you, huh? That part was funny. So yeah, while he's ranting, he gets a call. Rick says, oh, Reese. And Morty gets excited, right? He's like, he says, Morty almost seems a little too excited, right? Rick's over here like, yeah, who needs passwords? We got Reese. We're going to hang out with our pal Reese. He's like, yeah, I'm drunk. Of course I'm drunk. Yeah, we can hang out. But anyway, yeah. Morty's happy. He's like, dude, he's like, you just yelled at me and I don't even fucking care. I don't even care that you yelled at me. It's like, Reese is the best. But yeah, I was just checking to make sure the stream's running right. Yeah, and I'll say this, man. I wish I wouldn't have got rid of my stream last night. I feel like I did a lot better job. But it's okay. We're gonna go with it. We're gonna go with it. So yeah. But yeah, they say, oh yeah, Morty says, Reese is the best. Reese shows up. He's like, you got that right. And before we enter into our intro, we get this funny shot here of Rick and Morty jumping up and down like, Reese, 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 Reese. So yeah, after our intro, we switch to this scene here, and this is what I love about Rick and Morty. When the hell have you ever seen a tree that looks like that? I just love how they do their designs on some of these like alien planets. You know what I mean? Like these almost like sea anemones like coming out of these little craters here. It's like lily pad mushroom looking things. These plants over here look awesome. Some of the glowing stuff on them. But yeah, so they're over here fishing. We got this pink lake here. The mountains look really cool. Yeah, it looks really good. Does look really, really good. So yeah, Rick still drunk. Says fly fishing, baby. Look at this tree, man. This looks cool. I like their use of color in this episode too. Some of this like just off color, almost highlighter color, highlights here. Really nice, really nice. Looks good. But yeah, so anyway, they're fishing. Morty kind of has a conversation with Reese here. He loses his fish. Reese says, M-Dog, they never got away. What would be the point of catching them? We get the title. This was in the intro. We get this little scene here where he comes over to Morty and starts smacking him in the face with the fish. Excuse me. And that's what I love. I love how all of the intros, they like to just throw something different in there. So sometimes we'll see the clip. There's like different clips, right? And sometimes we'll see those throughout the episode. And sometimes we won't. But yeah, notice that this is one of those clips that they use for the intro here. So yeah, Rick goes running off. But yeah, anyway, Morty's pissed off. Reese gives that line, you gotta wade with the current, dude. Okay, I'm just checking my notes here. Catching up on my notes. So yeah, we switch to this beautiful shot here. I love how they did the clouds back here with this like almost sunset orange, this purple, nice yellow in there. Looks nice and smooth. You can see the river going along here. The mountains look cool, almost like, like the ground was, the tectonic plates were pushed up. Looks nice. I like these like glowing blue pine cones, some of this stuff over here. This is a beautiful, beautiful shot right here. So yeah, they're Morty's over here looking for the special marshmallows. And I like how he says the line. He says exactly what we all say when we're looking for something that we know we brought, right? He's like, I looked at the marshmallows, I know I grabbed them. Like, I've caught myself saying that. Like, I bring headphones to work with me sometimes, and I literally just did that. Like, I forgot my headphones one day, and I was like, I swear, I looked at them, I put them in my pocket, so where the fuck are they? But anyway, yeah, it just nice little realistic kind of detail there. But yeah, so, Rick's over here like, yeah, the last time we hung out with Reese, you forgot the marshmallows too. So he's throwing a little bit of shade here, kind of being hard on him. Reese spits some wisdom on Rick, drops some truth on him, and he's like, hey, man, you got to go easier on Morty. It's what you do with what you got that counts, right? So Rick kind of takes that into perspective. He says, yeah, I'm sorry, Morty. I apologize. He says, maybe I'm just still a little wired from catching all those fish. Morty laughs, says, yeah, you'd find a way to get high on anything. Love that line. And Reese comes over and says, now, ain't that the truth? So I really like this shot here with the moons in the background, with the big craters. I love these swirling clouds that go across here. And I love this little, like, you got the clouds in the foreground of the background, or you know what I'm saying. And then you have this like nice little mist in the back here, which is you would think you would kind of like blur that out a little bit, or not really use these like sharp edges here, but it looks really good. I like how they did that. Again, with the mountains back here, looks nice. This cloud here. I love this cliff face, all the detail on that. Looks really good. But yeah, Reese. Even when I watched this the first time, I was like, man, Reese, there's something up with this guy. Like he's being too cool. Suspiciously cool, right? He comes over, he's like, you guys you two may fight, but you're the real deal. And then he gets a phone call, says he's got some work stuff to do. So they might have to cut this camping trip short. Again, with some of these details in the background, looks really nice. The way they use some of these colors that maybe some of us, might not typically use. Like I love it. Love it. But yeah, Rick's all game for cutting the camping trip short. And having seen the episode, I feel like this was what it was all about, right? He has something he wanted from this trip. He didn't actually want to go on this trip. Maybe he enjoyed it, but he's got a reason for doing what he's doing. Classic Rick bullshit, right? Yeah, Morty's over here sad, like, well, I mean, we haven't even camped. We didn't even camp. We've only been here one night. So why are we leaving? Rick throws some more shade, like, yeah, some of us got responsibilities, buddy. Some of us got responsibilities. So they head back to the Smith house. They walk in, drop their fishing rods down, and this is the scene that I was wanting to point out. We're pretty close up on this box here, and it's different. It is noticeably different. No time travel stuff, right? So, at first I thought, okay, well, maybe they're just zoomed out and they didn't want to put that extra detail into it. That's a common thing in cartoons, right? But as you can see, we're more zoomed in than the other shot that had it on there. So I think there's some funny stuff going on here. I think the first episode with Evil Morty, I think that was all planned. I think Evil Morty summoned the collective because he wanted to capture the collective in the USB drive and ultimately end up in the time prison. So, Rick, I've said this before, but Rick he's made it he's made it known that he doesn't do time travel stuff because of the time cops. He doesn't want no smoke with those guys. So maybe this is hinting at some funny business going on with the Evil Morty storyline, and eventually we're going to see some time travel type stuff going on, right? And this is just kind of a hint at that. So that's my theory. We'll see, I guess, what happens, but hopefully, they're leading this up to a really cool season finale. And that's what I can say. We've talked about Rick and Morty like kind of falling off, right? But even in season 7, even in season 8, I feel like the finales were still pretty strong. We got the whole episode in season 7. We got the Memory Rick episode in season 8, and those were both really good episodes. Like, I feel like if we were to be given the whole story of Rick and Morty, like, we really couldn't do without those episodes. I don't know how you might feel about it, but that's kind of how I feel. I can't really go without the whole episode. I thought it was great. I thought it was awesome. I can't really go without the season 8 finale with Memory Rick. We got a little bit of closure on that storyline rather than leaving it open, So, and I feel like season 9 really is kind of picking up into a newer age of Rick and Morty. We had our golden age up to about season 4. Then we wrapped up Evil Morty's storyline sort of with, season 5. And we wrapped up the Rick Prime. That was a really good episode too. But But yeah, so I mean, now I feel like we're getting up to season 12 for sure. Maybe even more. We're getting a full movie, and we're getting the spin-off series. So I feel like they, going into season 9, they knew they kind of had to step their shit up, and I feel like they have. Like I said, I didn't really like this episode when I first started. I was like, oh, here we go. Another one-off episode that, isn't really well thought out, whatever, that we could kind of do without. But I think it was actually cool and I think it was important to the story, and we'll talk about that later on. But anyway, yeah, so they bring their stuff in. Rick sets the ice cooler up on the desk here. Morty's, a little too attached to Reese here. Reese is being extra cool with Morty until the raccoon pops up and grabs the fish, and then we see that Reese has been cybernetically enhanced, or could be a robot. So he's got these arms that come out and blast the raccoon. So Morty this is the moment where Morty realizes, like, okay, this is just some more Rick fuckery, right? So yeah, blast the raccoon. He's like, threat nullified. But yeah, the look on Morty's face here. Like, what the fuck, man? Yeah, Morty's, he kind of scans the room here, which I like how they did this. This is pretty cool. Rick runs over. He shuts Reese down, deactivates him. Morty's pissed the fuck off. It's like, expresses his feelings like, dude, we've known this guy for years, man. And he's been working for you you've been in control of him the whole time. And he throws a little line like, oh my fucking God. He's like, am I your password? And Rick kind of shoots back with it's more complex than that, but yes, our relationship is unique in the multiverse. He's like, yeah, go jerk off to it, right? It's like, jerk off some more to it. But this pisses Morty off even more. He's like, dude, why would you have to gaslight me with a cool fake friend just to verify that? You know what I mean? Like, why use Reese? Because that was Rick's whole thing. He just wanted to get Reese to come along and Morty to not know that this guy has all of his passwords. Like, it was all planned out. And think about that. Like, maybe he has some kind of implant where if he gets too drunk and he forgets his passwords, this guy calls just so that he can get his passwords, right? And it was used as a way to show that Morty is his password. So yeah, I like how they did this little hologram computer screen. Let's get, what does that say? Let's get concentric. Okay. So yeah, Morty, he leaves. He childishly stomps up the stairs and slams his door, and then drops himself into his bed, cries in his pillow. I like this back here. Darth Buddha. Yeah, Rick goes into the kitchen, continues to get drunk, and starts chugging his flask, only to realize that Beth was watching him the whole time. And I like how she's not concerned about his drinking or anything. She already knows that he's a drunk, right? No, her main concern is what we were all thinking. Like, how is there that much fucking liquid in that flask? Yeah, love that. Love how they threw that in there. So yeah, Rick explains that he's like, oh yeah, I got a portal flask. It's linked to a silo that's guarded by these hog people in a different dimension, which, as we know, comes into play later. nice little, like, at first I thought it was like a throwaway line. I kind of thought to myself, like, well, that's probably going to pop up, but, so yeah. Morty, just can't help himself. He can't handle it. He puts his bullshit aside, goes down, knocks on the door. He's like, all right, Rick, I understand. Or I'm willing to set this aside, but I still want to hang out with Reese, even though he's a robot, right? He just loves Reese that much. He's willing to just kind of go with it. But then he opens the door and finds that Rick is messing around in Reese's brain here. We switch to this, cut to this part right here with Rick with his cool goggles, drunk as hell again, coming up out of the subterranean layers with his toolbox. Yeah, he says, I gotta do a little bit of work before disposal. And Morty's over here like, whoa, disposal? That's Reese, man. Can't get rid of Reese. So, yeah, Morty comes over. Reese is still being pretty cool. Morty tells him he doesn't want him to die. So he pushes Rick over. Drunk as hell, he just stumbles over. Morty saves Reese, goes over and types a bunch of false passwords in to lock the place down. And before the subterranean hatch here locks down, him and Reese escape through it. And then it locks over the top of them. So yeah, they fall down the stairs. Here's the thing that I loved about this scene right here. So I wanted to get my live streaming stuff up and going. I wanted to get some better equipment. So I went and bought some equipment. And I just bought one of these boards right here. It's different. Mine's a little different, but it's basically the same principle. So he's got these preset, these buttons here that he can, have these sounds and stuff. But, yeah, so he's basically like trying to, I don't know the science behind this. Maybe he's trying to blast through this door with like this big old speaker here, or if he's just trying to be annoying. I don't know. I just love how coincidental it was that, the first show that I cover on my channel is Rick and Morty. I buy my audio equipment, and then they show similar audio equipment in the show, which is, it's awesome. The universe works in funny ways, right? So yeah, he goes over here, he gets on this old walkie-talkie, starts talking to Morty down there. Yeah, Rick earlier had said, I kind of skipped over a note here. Rick earlier had said, yeah, this guy, he's got all my passwords, Morty. He's not a guy. He's my wallet. Again, classic Rick type shit. So that's why, he was messing around with his brain. Yeah, I love my note here. Like, no fucking way. Note to self, upload Yodeler into my podcast board. I'm going to do that. I got an extra space. I'm pressing it right now and it's not doing anything. So I'm going to pre-record a sound and put it in that little slot there. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do the Yodeler. Just for this episode. So yeah, they, he gives them the hat. This, what did it say? Earth World hat here. And I like the alien reference there, a little Easter egg. Kind of brings us back to episode 1, I believe, of season 1, where you've seen the almost hall or whatever it was with the different aliens and the tubes that kind of looked like that. So I guess it's kind of a callback to season 1, as well as, an alien Easter egg here. But yeah, it was funny when I was watching this. Around this moment, I was like, dude, is that Owen Wilson? Is that the GOAT Owen Wilson, man? I know some people aren't really like the biggest Owen Wilson fans, but for me, when I was in high school, I skateboarded. I was a skateboarder. And I remember, to me, Owen Wilson, oh yeah, just another actor or whatever. See him in movies all the time. My buddy had showed me this clip with Owen Wilson like hitting this big handrail, and ever since then I was like, yeah, this guy's fucking cool, man. Especially seeing him show up in Loki, because I'm a big Marvel fan and stuff. So yeah, I like Owen Wilson, man. I'm kind of glad that he got put in this episode. You know what I mean? Shout out to Owen Wilson. The man deserves the applause. I'm just, I'm finding reasons to hit my little buttons over here. But anyway, we'll continue on. So yeah, they huh. Yeah, Reese is worried. He's worried about Rick. Morty explains, we'll be fine. We just got to get to level 17 down here. So yeah, we switch to Rick with this fucking whatever this is, right? Some sort of laser beam. He could have just like threw a grenade on it. He could have had like, some kind of laser gun. But instead they go and they animate this whole contraption here. Love it. Love it. Looks good. With the with the tubes coming out and like the tripod stand. It's so awesome. So yeah, he blasts this door with this laser beam. The laser beam, ricochets, flies off into space, destroys this satellite here. And then I like this little scene where Rick kind of like turns around. He hears the neighbor in the background. Yeah, the random guy in the background. Like, no, the TV service went out. Whatever, So yeah, we see he calls a call-in line with these fart beings here on the other side. Tells this fart being here that you guys you built a door for me, so Rick didn't actually like build that reinforced door. He had these guys do it. This guy's like, yeah, sure, I can help. This is cool. It's funny to me that he just tried to blast this door with a damn laser beam, and now he's over here trying to fucking pick through it with a toothpick and a fucking screwdriver. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, Rick. You're supposed to be smart, buddy. So yeah, he goes into Jerry, says, hey, Jerry, got a call for you. Of course, baiting Jerry. Like, of course, Jerry's going to want to answer the phone. Nobody likes Jerry. So yeah, I think this is actually another clip from the intro. I'd have to say. Yeah, I feel like I've seen this in the intro. But yeah. So yeah, the fart being possesses Jerry's body. Rick tells him, don't get no funny ideas. The fart being is like super into having a body, right? Yeah, I even wrote in my notes, I was like, yeah, as soon as the fart being enter into Jerry's body, I was like, I have a bad feeling about this. Because we had the whole fart, I call it fart, the cloud fart gas bubble, gas cloud episode in season 2. So yeah, they go in to look at the lock. Rick, he knows he's up to something, right? Compliments the fart Jerry, compliments Rick on the quality of the gate here. Which was kind of weird to me. I thought they designed it. But anyway. Yeah, so he knows. He's like, well, yeah. He's like, I'm gonna need some tools. Is there like a hardware store here? And this is all a bit just so that he can dip off, which Rick already knows. He knows what's going on. He says, you're not stalling here because you want to take this body out for a sensory flight of fancy, right? And then this guy, you know, gives the most suspicious no ever. And then literally after saying that, he makes a run for it. Rick just leaves Rick over here just like, all right, whatever. So yeah, then we switch back to Morty and Reese heading down this hallway here. Morty explains that they have to get to level 17, but to do that, they're going to have to cut through the prison level. And you know what's cool is I like how through these seasons, the subterranean levels have like, maybe I'm wrong, but they've grown, right? Like over time, so the subterranean levels started in season 2, I'd say. And I feel like at that time there was only one level. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that was only that one level. And then, you know, as time progressed, Rick built more and more levels, leading to like, you know, what was it? Season 6? Was it season 6 with the lightsaber episode? I think so. But yeah. And then now, you know, we're getting more of it. But anyway, thought it was a cool little detail. Nice little unexplained detail. But yeah, so they get to this door here, this reinforced door, and Morty asks Reese if he can just blast through the door. Reese says it doesn't work like that. I can only, you know, use my cybernetic enhancements unless one of you or Rick are in danger. So Morty kind of has a subtle moment of genius here, starts slamming his head into the door so that Reese is forced to blast the door, which this looks really cool. And this is exactly why I wanted to start with Rick and Morty on my channel. Not only am I watching it for the story, I also am watching it for the subtle little tricks, the art tricks, right? So like, I've said this before, I would never think to like draw or animate out a laser beam like this. So, and you know, it's not like I'm saying I'm going to use this specific technique here to do if I ever do like someone doing a laser beam or something. More what I'm saying is like, it shows me, okay, it teaches me to think outside the box, right? Do things differently than what is normally done. So yeah, I really like how they've done the laser beams in this episode, or like this season. But yeah, so they blasted the door. The melted metal here looks pretty cool. They get into the prison level to find that all of the prisoners are already dead. And we never really got any kind of story on this. Maybe it was something that happened in season 8. Maybe I'm missing something here. I watched season 8 once. So maybe I'm forgetting something. Maybe we did get some story on this, but if not, yeah, I'd like to see them explore what the fuck happened here. But yeah, Morty gets in here. He's like, "Thank fucking God." But yeah. So then this is where I kind of stopped the episode. I was like, man, I got to figure this out. And I found out that Reese was actually Owen Wilson. Something about, he says something about hoot nannies, and then as they're walking away, he's like, I don't even know what that actually means. So yeah, hey, one of the prisoners grabs onto Morty. Reese blows him up, blasts him with his laser beam. So then we switch to this scene here with Rick down here working on these subterranean levels, or I'm not actually sure what he was doing. They kind of didn't really explain it. I like how he's got these like maybe automated Machinery over here, heavy duty machinery. This looks pretty cool. His little platform. But yeah, anyway, we see that Beth and Summer calling down to him like, where is Jerry? They're wondering where Jerry's at, right? And yeah, we switch to Jerry having a great time. He's going through a car wash. Rick calls him like, hey, where the fuck are you at? Yeah. He's like, yeah, you said you'd get me into my fucking reinforced door. So he's got bubbles all over him. It's the soap all over him. Which is crazy. You know, this is crazy because I've seen videos like on Facebook and stuff of like someone like getting caught up in one of these. I would not recommend going through a car wash like this. I've seen this car wash would actually mess you up in real life, right? But yeah, he's having a great time. We switch to these two rando characters here. This guy says, are we supposed to do that? And he's like, well, he gave us all the money he had, so whatever. But anyway, yeah, Jerry's over here testing out his body, whatever. I like how they did this gumball candy machine here. That looks pretty cool. Like the little alien, almost Rick styled spaceship. Like this nice little, plant over here. Looks pretty good. I was trying to figure out what this sign said, but I don't know. I couldn't figure it out. Thank you for your maybe patronage. I have no idea. Anyway, so yeah, we return to Morty and Reese. They blast through this next door into level 17. They see this machinery in the background, which I like how they did this. They kind of put that like whitish, bluish glow on the back of it, kind of directing your eyesight towards, this portion of the machinery, showing that's what they're going for. It's pretty cool. So we find out that it's basically like an older version of a portal gun, or it's like a portal door. And to show that it's, older tech, they put a fucking pull string on it. That's awesome. That's funny. So yeah. The computer turns on, and I was trying to look at some of these locations here. These almost kind of look like the cliffs where the mega trees are, maybe. I don't know. This has got to be the Star Trek rock, man. It's got to be. It's got to be modeled after it, right? This scene right here, or this picture right here, kind of reminded me of Land of the Lost, when they're all at the pool and they drink those drinks that like get them drunk and stuff. So yeah. Reese says he likes this one right here. This looks like Yosemite almost. So they decide to go to that dimension there. They enter through the portal, only to find that Rick has Rickified this whole dimension, bringing back around the silo with the hog people that are working to fill this thing with vodka. Kind of like the Teenyverse episode where, Rick, and this is kind of my main point with this episode. There's a reason they're doing this episode the way they are. It has a bigger implication to the full story. So through season 6, ever since Pickle Rick, he was going to his therapist. He was making progress and trying to change. And we've seen a little bit of that in like season 7, season 8, where he's, Rick's making progress and changing and working on himself. And I think this whole episode shows that was all a load of bullshit. It was all a load of crap. Rick is still on his shit. He's still doing the same thing. he is still Rick, you know? But yeah, so he's got this whole society here filling up this silo full of fucking vodka just so that he can have a flask, right? And that's Morty's like whole problem with Rick. Same with Reese. Is like he does these, he's so smart, he's such a genius that his sense of morality is almost gone, right? So Morty kind of serves as that, like bringing Rick down, you know, he's Morty's kind of what keeps Rick from being a villain. I mean, he is a villain. Look at the harm that he does, you know? But anyway, yeah, I love it. I love that they showed that, you know, Rick's still on his bullshit. So yeah. Let's see here. I'm checking my notes here. Yeah, so they talk to this guy. Despite discovering that Rick has this whole place under control. And yeah, the other hog made mention that, you know, the younger generation is against this whole society, and they gave him the V for Vendetta masks. They're styled masks, right? I just noticed this the flask holding Rick's hand here. That's hilarious. But yeah, the younger generation doesn't agree with it, wants to burn this system down, right? So despite Rick being, you know, having control of this whole dimension here, Morty's still happy to save Reese. Reese is cool with staying here. And Morty repeats Reese's line, like, we just gotta wade with the current. And then Reese kind of shits on him and says, yeah, you know, starting to think fishing's kind of boring. But yeah, so Rick's still over here trying to break into this reinforced door. Yeah, that's the other thing. I love how this episode, there really isn't an A plot, B plot kind of thing, you know, or a C plot. Like, you really kind of can't tell which is the A plot, which is the B plot. Like, it's so, they definitely split it up into two separate plots. But it all is interwoven, right? The whole story's interwoven. I like how they did that. Nice writing. It was nice writing. And all of the callbacks, like everything you see through the episode, there's a reason it's happening, and it all comes full circle. Love it. So, yeah, so Fart Jerry returns. He's got these tools here, and I like how he just kind of like phases them through the door with magic. Like, doesn't actually do anything to fix the door. He just, I don't know. Maybe he did this just to show, or, you know, just to kind of like be like, oh, I wasn't trying to test out my body. But anyway, you know, it was like a cover, right? So he fixes the door, opens it up. Morty has already achieved his goal of saving Reese. Rick's pissed. Says he's got to pay Fart Jerry the full price. Fart Jerry's like, yeah, and I'm really expensive. So yeah, he's like, where the fuck is Reese? Morty explains that he took him to live with his new hog friends. That's when Rick says, oh, shit. The house immediately locks down. He knows where Reese is. He knows he's in the silo dimension. And the whole house gets locked down. Because now they have Reese. Remember, he has all of his passwords. He has all of his, in his brain. He has everything that can, you know, manipulate Rick's whole system here, right? So the, oh, I love this. This must be a new edition. Or maybe we've seen this before. This whole overkill protection here. The shield or whatever. This is, have we seen this before? I don't think we have. I feel like maybe he installed this after Evil Morty, right? The first episode. That'd make the most sense. But yeah, anyway, this guy pops up with his V for Vendetta mask. Seems like the younger generation. They now have control over Reese and therefore control over Rick's lab here. And yeah, they want to take over. Rick tells Morty that, he shows that they've got Reese. They've updated his brain here, put their own parts in there and stuff. Rick tells Morty, their whole planet is based on my tech, man. Like they'll fuck us up if they want to. Yeah, and then so we get this whole scene where like this force field comes out. We got this turret shooting. Oh, that's right. The turret started shooting at them. Rick summons the force field. And for some reason, the room just started spinning around in circles to the point where Rick even throws up on the ground. He's been drinking a lot. They start copying all of his files, stealing all of his information. Rick pushes Fart Jerry out to take out the turret. He grabs the soundboard, throws it at the turret. And that's when Rick starts making his way over to the door, grabs onto Morty, and they escape through the door. Then we find out that Summer and Beth are fighting the couch. What Rick needed with a cyborg couch, I don't know. Like, why does the couch need rocket launchers, man? But yeah, so as you can see, the Hogs, they have full control over all of the appliances in the house, all of the furniture. So Beth asked, I can't remember if it was Summer or Beth, but yeah, they asked, why is the furniture fighting us right now? Why isn't it attacking us? And Rick says, because Morty assumed that Hogs in overalls couldn't also be hackers. Yeah. Yeah, so Beth says, Dad, stop replacing my stuff with robots. He's like, you never notice the difference anyway. Yeah, Jerry gets shot here. He's bleeding pretty badly. Summer, points that out. He's like, oh, don't worry. I'll make more blood. Summer's like, yeah, that's badass. Yeah, I like how the coffee table, they designed the coffee table here. That looks pretty cool. It's like crawling like a spider towards him. So yeah, this guy pops back up onto the screen here. He says that you don't want to trust Rick. He lies to everyone about everything. They're still fighting the couch monster here, and they finally defeat him. It falls over and collapses back into the couch. They hop back up on the couch as this lava fills up the living room. And we get a nice little line of like the floor is lava, That was cool. Floor is lava reference. So yeah, Rick gets a call. As you can see, all the furniture is still trying to attack them. Rick gets a call. They say, is your refrigerator running? Well, you better go catch it. So yeah, Rick hands the phone over to Jerry. The fart energy goes into the phone, entering into this dude right here. He says, I think you guys should all self-delete. Here, let me help you out. So he starts beating him up. Rick's pretty satisfied with his decision there. And then transfers back into Jerry. Yeah, and I've noticed that all of these episodes, man, they do end. They have been ending all in like this pretty intense battle. You got the Evil Morty episode. You got the drones, the Rick drones in episode 2. Episode 3, we get the martial arts battle. And then this one we got where they're fighting their furniture, which is pretty cool. So, yeah. Anyway, that fixed the lava. The lava goes away. The shelf falls over, starts using. I like how it used its shelves to like walk towards Jerry. Beth comes and saves Jerry. The stove comes out, right? And I like the stools. So yeah, they make a run for it when these pendulum saw blades start coming out of the ceiling here. Excuse me. Yeah, fart Jerry the whole time. He's just having a great time. Look at him. Look at him smiling. But yeah, Rick says, "Let's get to my room." I like the nightstand up here. Got like a bed, mattress or something maybe. Yeah, so they enter into this hallway. I like how all of the pictures are just somehow of Reese, Morty, and Rick, which is kind of weird. And, you know, the laser beams are coming out of Reese's eyes. But, yeah. So they get to Rick's room. They shut the door. Rick walks over to the this panel here, opens it up, activates this, pulls this lever, activating an EMP device that swarms the whole property. And then they return into the living room, noticing that, you know, all of the the furniture has been disabled. So yeah, Rick makes a comment saying, yeah, nothing electronic left that can turn against us. Except for his flask, right? He went to go try to take a sip of his vodka. This laser beam, again with the laser beams, man. Making me think outside the box with some of my stuff here. He throws the flask. The flask starts warping back and forth. And out of it is summoned Reese here. And as you can see, he's I like how they did his brain. He's got like the computer parts sticking out of his brain. Yeah, so the hogs send recoded Reese. Reese attacks. I like the rings here. And his hog. He's got his hog outfit on now. But yeah, as Reese doesn't care about these guys. He's just going after Rick and Morty, right? He's reprogrammed. And Beth makes a comment like, I don't like how many adult friends Morty has, right? It's like, dude, Morty's been through a lot. Like, having older friends is the least of your worries with Morty, right? But anyway, so yeah, they go into the garage. They start attacking Reese here. Since they don't have any equipment, Rick says, yeah, just hit him with pipes. I like how he's got his Doc Ock claws here. You can definitely tell that they're definitely pulling some inspiration from some Marvel stuff, right? As I've said before, like the first episode was damn near a Marvel movie. Yeah, you can tell the creators watched all the Marvel shit. We'll see. Yeah, so while Reese is attacking them, you can see that there's a moment of regret, really. What, did we miss that? We missed that part. Oh, yeah, I was going to talk about this. Every once in a while, a little bit of the real Rick slips out, right? So, you know, Reese was about ready to blast Morty here, and Rick stepped in and just took the full force of it. So I like that. I like how, you know, deep down, we already know, Rick's ego won't allow him to say that he loves Morty because he doesn't want to, you know, it's his ego, right? But yeah, so he, you know, Sorry about that. Yeah, it's, Rick's ego doesn't allow for him to tell Morty he loves him or anything like that, but it does, that protection is there. It does slip out every once in a while. So yeah, you can see there's a little bit of regret from Reese. Like there's a little part of Reese that's still there, which kind of tracks the same thing with Rick, right? There's a little bit of Rick that's in there that he doesn't let people see. And so yeah, he apologizes for attacking them. He knows someone messed with his head. Morty says, I'm sorry, it was me. Rick breaks free, starts stabbing him with these stakes here. He says, yeah, stop trying to override his programming with love, Morty. And I feel like he kind of knew, like when he was like apologizing, he knew that there was still a part of the coding in Reese that was still there. So as Rick and Morty this is a nice little detail here. As Rick and Morty are fighting each other, right? Happened to my chat here. There we go. As Rick and Morty are fighting each other, we notice that this fries his brain somehow. So my understanding of what happened there is that, he was created to protect Rick and Morty. So as he's watching them basically fight with each other, he can't discern between who to defend and who to hurt, because he's created to, you get my point. He was created to protect both of them. So when they're fighting each other, it fries his brain out, right? So yeah, I feel like it kind of brings, what did he say here? Oh yeah, he repeats his earlier line. He's like, you two may fight, but you're the real deal. Nice little callback. And then he drops on the floor and dies. And when he dies, the shields go up, because that's how they were, it was all of the passwords in his brain. So yeah, Rick pulls out his brain, fries it with this laser beam. And then we see that a couple of the subterranean levels must have collapsed, because we see the house kind of go down a little bit. And Beth and Summer pop in and ask, hey, what was that all about? And that, Rick explains that a couple of the subterranean levels must have collapsed. Not really much explanation on that. Maybe it had something to do with what he was working on earlier when he was down in that chasm that's surrounding the house. So maybe there's a little bit of, maybe there's some secretive stuff going on here, right? Yeah, says don't worry about it. It'll be all right. I'll fix it. But yeah, so we're getting towards the end of the episode here. Definitely a lot shorter than the stream that I did last night. I'm actually still kind of bugged because I don't feel like this one ended up being as great. You know how it is when you're trying to do something over again for the second time. You're just kind of like, man, I'm just breezing through it. So I apologize if this stream here is not very entertaining. I'll get better with the next one. I'm learning from my mistakes. I'm never going to use YouTube editor ever. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll do some false live streams, keep them private, and then try to go in there and figure that out. That way I can prevent myself from ever losing a whole 2-hour fucking live stream again. But anyway. Yeah, so what is he? Yeah, he says don't worry about it. We switch to this scene here where Rick's automated dump trucks here, whatever these called. Anyway, his heavy duty equipment here is filling up these his tractors, whatever, the tractors. They're filling up the holes here. this chasm. But anyway, so we switched to this classic Rick and Morty scene here of them sitting at the table. Some of this food, excuse me, looks amazing. I wish I had some corn and pork chops and some mashed potatoes. Jerry's over here. Fart Jerry's still with them, right? Morty looks a little concerned about it. He's drinking a beer. I love how he just like shotguns the beer. So they're a little bug. They're like, hey, maybe it's time for you to give us Jerry back. And, the fart, he agrees. Morty. Let's see. Wait, hang on. Yeah, Morty, says he has an idea. Maybe it was Rick. I can't remember. But, they decide to put fart the fart being into Reese's body here. Transfer it over from Jerry into Reese. So now we get, I like how they puffed his face up here. Now we get Fart Reese. Morty's still kind of attached to Reese here. And he's like, I love you. And Fart Reese says, I love how much matter you're made of. Funny little line. Rick's over this whole situation. He's ready to get on with it. So maybe Fart Reese here is Rick's way of still being able to keep his passwords and at the same time let this guy live his sensory life here. All right. So he sits down at his computer. He's a little annoyed with Morty. And this whole thing. Now he doesn't have his flask because of Morty's shenanigans. Tries to take a sip and then, it's bone dry. So he goes in and nukes the whole fucking dimension. Classic Rick pettiness, right? So he pulls another flask out. He's like, I've learned my lesson. No more portal flasks. Pulls a bunch of different flasks out and starts chugging them. Morty's all pissed off. But then, Rick, of course, has got to clap back a little bit. And he's like, I know you're disgusted with me, Morty, but it's a disease, Morty. You're going to be just like me, Morty. It's a disease. Making Morty feel bad about himself. Making him fearful of his future. And again, time travel stuff is back on the box here. But so I took the screenshot just so it was Owen Wilson. I love when they do that. I love when they bring guest stars in, like Taika Waititi or Logic, and many more, right? So originally when I seen this end credit scene here, I was thinking this was like an alternate dimension and we were going to do some alternate dimension stuff, you know what I mean? But then I realized this is literally just basically what they're trying to get at here is that Rick keeps doing this shit. You know what I mean? Like it just happens over and over. He forgets his password. He gets locked out of the system. And, Morty's got to go in and deal with it, right? Drunk ass Rick here. So this guy pops in, Rex. He's like, hey man, I'm your neighbor Rex, bro. He walks in, he's like, I love Minecraft and skateboarding. And then Morty, thinking that this is, another Reese type character with that Rick uses for his passwords, Morty stabs him and kills him. Rick's over here like, yo, whoa, why'd you do that? Stabs him with a gardening shovel too. That's fucked. But anyway, so Rex dies. Rick gets a phone call. He answers the phone call and he's like, Georgie. I love how Georgie's like, he's more Reese than Reese was Reese. You know what I mean? He's a Reeser Reese than Reese, right? Like, look at this guy. That shit's hilarious, dude. But anyway, I like how we bring it back around. We end the episode with, Morty kind of tripping out. Like, where'd you even find this guy? And, Rick's jumping up and down. Nice little full circle thing here. Jumping up and down like, Georgie. That was great. I like this episode, man. I thought it was pretty well thought out. And, I think we all know that after the first episode was amazing, that we had to kind of bring it down a little bit. And I wouldn't even say that they've brought it down, but we got to kind of, there's got to be a few slower episodes. So even though I feel like the bowling alley episode was actually really, really good, I think that was kind of like a step down from the first episode. Episode 3 and 4, even though they were a little bit slower, still great. I've yet to watch episode 5 yet. Like I said, I will be going through and recording or live streaming on Saturday. That way I can be a little more prepared for episode 6 and return to my Tuesday schedule like I want. Granted that it doesn't rain on a Tuesday. That'll be the only thing that stops me from doing these streams. I moved all of my equipment into my garage just so I had a little more space to do my stuff, my live streaming, YouTube stuff. And my garage is literally just sheet metal. It's a frame with sheet metal. So anytime it rains, yeah, it's loud. But I'm gonna try to stick to my Tuesday schedules for Rick and Morty. I know Avatar Last Airbender just came out season 2. If I feel like I have the time to go and, paint up a template for that, maybe I'll cover that. Do that on another day. It all depends on, how... It's hard to do it with the Netflix series because it's not a weekly release, I will be covering Spider Noir hopefully sometime this weekend, at least getting that started. I know I'm kind of late on that, but oh well, it's good practice. But anyway, yeah, I got a plan for a Spider-Man Brand New Day video. I might do a video on Toy Story 5. I want to do a video on the Magic School Bus, because I know they got that in the works, just to talk about how maybe they could do that right or how they could possibly do it wrong. I'm a little worried for the Magic School Bus. It can be such a great IP. It really could. No one's ever done a Magic School Bus live action movie. But yeah, we'll talk about that in the video. So yeah, that's kind of plans for the future. I might make a few OBS tutorial videos just to show kind of how I do my templates and stuff here. Kind of optimizing a bit. That way I can make some templates and make some content with, me making my templates at the same time. But yeah, I really hope you guys liked this episode. I hope you enjoyed this live stream. Like I said, it probably... My first live stream that I did on this episode was probably a little better. It's hard to come back through and kind of recreate what you were doing, but I learned the hard way. But yeah, hopefully you liked this live stream. If you did, like and subscribe. Leave me a comment in the comment section. And yeah, thanks for joining, guys. Have a good evening. See ya.